All right, this is second to third. I don't know. This is my next experience on Manitou Island, and before I get into the experience, I'm going to tell you. So I was back at work before I left on the trip, and I was telling my native, she's a native, she's Mohawk. I was telling my friend, hey, I'm going on a trip on Manitou Island. And she goes, beware the Manitou. And I go, what the hell's a Manitou, right? She goes, well, I forgot the whole detail. You can Google it and research it, and there's so many different variables. But I was thoroughly freaked. And I thought it was just the name of an island. I didn't know there's a Manitou on it. Like you see the Manitou in the old days, and the old in sci-fi shows, you know, running around with a big head. It's half horse and half human, or half a goat or something, thing like that. It's two different. It's half human and half goat. Like, runs around, has a big eye, one big eye. Anyway, I didn't know if I had to believe it or not. She seemed to believe it. You know, I totally respect that. And I was in my native past lives and everything, so I'm kind of freaking. I don't know, I was freaking. Straight up, I was freaking. So, a couple days go by, then I have this dream. And in the dream, I'm walking in a hallway of an apartment building. And it's old dark wood frame doors and thick red carpet, like a dark red. And it's on the ground, and it has designs in it. I can't remember the designs. And on the walls, it was not carpet, but like the same color walls, dark red with this dark brown. There's all these doors, and I'm walking down the hallway. I'm walking down the hallway, and I get to the end door. There's a door right at the end, and it's closed. So I reach out and I grab the doorknob. As I go to grab the doorknob, all of a sudden, I hear this. It sounded like a fucking buffalo on you. And it went, it just screamed like that. And started pounding on the door, and I jumped like 10 feet. And just go, just fucking like rage. Absolute rage right behind this door. And I could see it behind the door. And it was like a half human, half animal thing. And it was going, and I had to open the door. So I walked up to the door, but I was getting ready to, fight. I don't know why I walked up to the door. Beyond me. I walked up to the door, and I'm going to get the doorknob, and I'm going to touch the doorknob, and I couldn't open the door. I was so, and my wife, she was behind me, spirit wife, she was behind me. She's going, you gotta open the door. You gotta open the door. Confront it. And I going, I ain't opening the fucking door. You open that door. I ain't opening the door. There's no way in hell. And this is before I lost my skins. So I was in touch with her long before I lost my skins. Here and there. And anyway, this thing was back there screaming, pounding the door. And I woke up right at that moment. I never did open the door. So from there, after that dream, I was thoroughly afraid. I didn't open the door, by the way. So back, I'm on the island, had my UFO experience with my friends. They left. I packed up my stuff, started hiking. 150 pounds on my back. This is my first hike, my first day. Okay, so I'm hiking along, and as I'm hiking along, and it's beautiful, but I didn't have my legs yet, right? It took me like 4 hours no, not really, but an hour and a half to get my legs hiking. Finally, I got my legs. I hiked all morning, and then I found a nice spot for lunch. I sat my backpack down on a rock, a big rock, so I could put it up on a rock and then slip into it. Because it was 150 pounds. Like, you just can't pick it up and throw it around your back and put it on like a normal. You got to put it on something and slide into it. And so I pulled out a bag of food, some food, and I was covered in sweat, totally covered in sweat, and starting to get sunburnt. And I didn't want no rashes in my crotch from sweating, and sweaty feet. So I figured I'd dry my socks off. So I took my socks off, put them on a rock to dry, and I was about 10 meters from my bag. But I went into the shade underneath this pine tree, and there's no one on this beach. No one. It's not even a beach. It's flat rock. Rock. As far as you can see, it's rock. Boulders and rock. And so I'm under this tree, and I take off all my clothes because they're drying them out, and I'm drying me out. And I jumped in the lake for a swim. It was beautiful. This is like 30 feet straight down. You can see the bottom. Looking awesome. If not 50, 60 feet. And you can see the bottom down there. And it's nice and cold. So I washed off a bit. Got all the sweat and salt off me. I walked over, laid down under the tree, and I'm laying on my stomach, right? Just drying off. And I'm laying there. And I'm drying my clothes on the rock beside me in the sun. And I rinsed them off, I salt out of them and everything. Because I don't have a whole bunch of different change of clothes, right? I got like 2 changes of clothes and 4 pair of changes of socks. Something like that, 4 or 5. And so I'm laying there on a rock. And this is a funny experience. It's not the spiritual experience yet. This is pretty funny. So I'm laying there, and I'm crashing out underneath in the shade on the tree line, which is a forest for hundreds of miles or whatever. Just a forest, an endless forest. And, well, you know, whatever, it's far. And I'm laying there, and I'm falling asleep. And all of a sudden, as I'm falling asleep, I feel cold little feet, like a mouse ran over my butt from out of the forest and over my butt. And it ran. 4 little feet across my butt. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was so fucking burnt. I was burnt. And I'm laying, I couldn't even react to it. That's how tired I was. This is my first morning of backpacking. I was so tired. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And I didn't move. I didn't care. And then from this side, it ran over my butt again. And I'm like, maybe I should check, see what that is, right? And I'm like, nah, screw it. And so I'm laying there. I'm like, it didn't bite me. I'm good. Right? So I'm laying there. And what the hell happened then? So as I'm thinking this, it runs across my butt again, right? The exact same spot. And I'm like, all right, this is it. I get up. I pull my head back, and there's a red squirrel sitting there beside me going... like that, right? Looking at me like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, get out of here, you son of a bitch, right? And he ran away or something. So I'm laying there, and I start falling asleep again. Then he runs across my butt again. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I get up, and I'm looking in the forest for the squirrel. I'm trying to figure out, why is this thing running across my butt? And I don't understand it. And all of a sudden I hear, chirp, 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 over at my backpack. I look at my backpack, and there's a squirrel running away with a huge bag of my Harvest Crunch cereal, right? And Harvest Crunch is good, man. It fatten you up. A lot of good stuff in there. And it's the raisin nut one, right? She's running. I don't know how. I left my bag open. I didn't think. She grabbed the bag is like this big. Okay, this full. It's full of Harvest Crunch. It's like a box and a half of cereal in this zip bag. She's running down the beach with it. She can't even pull it. She's like, And then I can see the squirrel over here beside me, and he's just and he wants me to go to him. And I realized right then it was a trick. They were trying to distract me, right? So he was distracting me by running across my butt. Well, she was over there looting my bag. I'm like, give me back, man. So I got up. I got 2 weeks worth of stuff. I ain't giving it all to no damn squirrel. And the seagulls are circling, and they're ready. So what I did was I got up and I ran after the squirrel. And I'm running. She's pulling the bag as hard as she can. And I'm running. I'm like, give me that, give me that. I'm grabbing at her. Finally, she gets freaked out. And she runs, takes off into the forest. So I take a handful and I give it to them. I bring it over to where I was sleeping and gave it to them. Just for the awesome effort. Smart little fuckers. They're so smart. And then I lay back down. I closed my bag up. I lay back down and I fell asleep. Just like 15 minutes. I checked out. I woke up and I'm like, oh, we better get going. So I better get going. So I went over to my backpack, put my clothes on, went over to my backpack, tucked everything in and make sure everything was still there. And I'm getting ready to go. And I stopped and I'm like looking at the forest where I was sleeping. I'm looking at the forest and I'm like, I've been here for 4 days and I didn't even go in the forest yet. Not really. I never stopped to take a look at the forest. And it's like a tree line all the way down the beach. And then it's rock and water. So I went up. I was like, oh, take a look, have a cigarette and take a look, see what's going on in there. See what it looks like, So I walk up to the tree line and and it's thick cedar trees. And I push them aside and I walk in a couple steps and I'm looking into the forest and back there's a swamp, not a real swamp, but it's wet and there's no trees. There's the odd birch tree and the odd dead ones because it's wet. So yeah, it's sort of like a swamp pond type thing. And I'm like, and the sun was hitting it and you can see the dragonflies and the birds and everything flying around. And I'm like, wow, that's really nice back there. That's really nice. And I'm looking like this. I'm just looking. Just thinking how nice and pretty. And I'm like, and it was like 90, almost to 100 on the shoreline with the wind coming off the water. And I'm like, it's got to be hot back back in that swamp. I'm like, oh my God, I sure hate to be back there. And I thought, man, it's got to be hot back there. So I'm looking, but it was really beautiful. And all of a sudden, I hear a girl singing on the other side of the swamp, on the far side of the swamp. And I'm like, what the fuck? She in danger? I'm ready to go in there and save her because there's got to be like 100 something in the swamp. And I'm listening, and she's singing a native song. It's a Native American song. I don't know the words to it, but it was really nice. And I could hear it back there a little ways. And she's singing, and it's repeating over and over and over and over. And it's repeating. It repeated like twice, 3 times, and I'm listening. And it was really catchy tune. And then I started like listening to it, and I'm thinking, I can't see her. There's no one back there. Why would a little girl be back there in a swamp, in the middle of nowhere? And maybe she got lost. I don't know, but I'm looking for her. And I go, well, I have to go get her. The song, I can hear the song. I can physically in my ears, I can hear the song. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's singing, it's going, it's singing. And she's singing. And all of a sudden, as I'm looking, I look, okay, I gotta really look. And so I went, and I stared right into where the voice was coming from on the other side of the swamp. And I'm thinking, fucking this Bigfoot or something, right? I don't know. But I'm looking for a girl. And I look real good. And all of a sudden the voice goes, and it's singing, and it keeps singing. But it comes right at me while it's singing. And as it's singing, as it's coming at me, it gets louder and louder and louder and louder. And it took like 1-2 seconds to get across the pond, the voice. And it came right at me and went boosh right into my chest. And it came and swirled all around me, the energy. I know, it's like a spirit. This energy came and swirled all around me. And all around me was the singing head to my feet. I could feel it swirling around me, this energy. And it's singing. And I'm like, I got tingles immediately, right? As soon as I got the tingles, as soon as my whole body went tingly, and it's singing, and it's beautiful, and it's sweet and innocent, just total innocence. And it's singing, and its energy is swirling around me. All of a sudden, I felt like a pressure in my heart, like it came, the voice came up to my heart and went whoop right into my heart, and then all the energy went inside me, inside my heart, while it's singing. And I felt it go in, and it went whoop, and it filled me up. It was like I filled up full of singing song energy. And then, that's the last thing I remember. I'm standing there. I don't know how long. I start singing. As soon as I start singing the song, I'm singing it verbally. The water's coming out of my eyes. I'm tingling like crazy. But as soon as I started singing, everything went black. I couldn't see anything anymore. I couldn't see the swamp. I couldn't see the trees. I couldn't see nothing. I didn't see anything inside. I was just singing the song. And then, next thing I know, as far as I never passed out or had any missing time or anything, but everything just disappeared. And I just singing this song with this energy girl. And then, it's still loud and clear, loud. And all of a sudden I see the trees again and everything. I start seeing things again. And I turn around and I walk out on the rocks. And I'm just standing there looking at the ocean, not the ocean, the Lake Huron, or North Channel, whatever. And I'm looking at the water, and I'm looking at my backpack, and I'm singing this song, and tears are running out of my eyes. And then finally, the voice started to go away, a little bit at a time, right? But I kept singing the song. And then finally, the energy was totally gone. It left me. And I was still singing the song. So I walked over, put on my backpack. I put on my backpack. All the energy was gone, but I was still singing the song. And I buckled up my backpack, and I started walking. And I'm singing the song still. Eventually, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, as I was walking, I stopped singing it because I had to pay attention to some rocks I had to go over and stuff. And I stopped singing the song, and then I started backpacking, and then or walking again. And then, as I was walking again, I realized, oh my God, the song, I forgot it. And I couldn't remember the song. Totally gone. And I was singing it for like 20 minutes. And then I go, okay. I stopped and I told my inner light, I said, okay. I said, tell me what that was. Tell me what that meant. Not right now. Later on, whenever. Next time I think about it, when I'm done my day or whatever, tell me. I want to download. Tell me what it was. Tell me what that was. Tell me what that was. And so I backpacked the rest, but I backpacked about 5 hours walking on the beach. I went through a little bay. I went through a little bay. I came out of the bay. I walked on for a little bit, and a few more hours. And I came and I was like, this is a good place. And my experience is totally over with. And I'm like, this is a good place to camp. Really nice. nice and cozy. And so I put my backpack down, took off my clothes, left my pants on, and then went and collected some firewood for supper on the beach, driftwood and stuff that was on the rocks. Then, and it was already starting to get late. Not really late. It's about 5 o'clock or something. And I had a long time before. So I made a coffee, set up my tent, got the firewood. Eventually, I'm sitting at the fire, right, waiting for sunset, and the sun is right there, burning at me. So I'm waiting. I'm listening to the radio. The only station I could get was the CBC, so I'm listening to the CBC, and I can only listen to it on the north side of the bay. If I was on the south side, if I was on the north side of the bay, I couldn't get the radio, so I always had to sleep on the south side of the bay, facing north. Then I could hear the radio. So I always tried to sleep there. Just something to listen to, right? Just to hear what's going on. And so I'm sitting around having my campfire. The sun's going down, sunset. Really nice. And I thought, I took a drink of my coffee. I made a coffee. I'm taking a drink of my coffee. I'm looking around, going, man, this is nice. Because I'm getting happy. I'm really happy because I did this. I didn't go back home to Windsor to go to work. I stayed to experience this, and this is it, man. This is the best. So I'm eating supper, having my coffee, and I get done, and I think to myself, holy shit, yeah, that thing. And also I got the download, that's the spirit thing, the singing song that happened to me. And as soon as I thought that, I go, oh man, that experience I had this morning. As soon as I thought that, I got the download. And I thought, the singing song, oh yeah, what was that? And so I got the download, and then my downloads had a voice. And it said, it's the Manitou. There you go. And I go, what? And the whole download said, well, and I had the dream. I remember the dream with the download. The whole download was this. When I didn't open the door in the dream in Windsor because the Manitou was on the other side, right? I didn't open the door, and it was banging and screaming and growling and moaning and total rage. I'm like, nope. So I get here to Manitou Island, and my fear was walking by myself, all 200 or so kilometers to South Baymouth by myself. That was the fear, and I was still uptight about it. Totally uptight. And when my cousin and my friends were going to leave, and I had to stay there, they asked me, well, you coming or you going to stay? This is your last chance. And I thought, oh no. And I confronted my fear. I looked at my fear of being alone, and then I looked at them, the safety and having fun with my friends. And I'm like, nope, I'm staying. And I told them, I said, I don't give a fuck if I die. You know, find the body later on, whatever, but I'm out of here. I ain't fucking going back to that Windsor. And they said, all right, see you later. And I'm like, all right, see ya. Stupid. But that was me confronting my fear, opening the door. So that was opening the door. But I still had the fear. I had this anxiety until then I went and I'm laying there, and then I started playing with the squirrels. They're trying to steal my food. That was fun for me, right? I loved it. And then, after I fell asleep, I woke up, went and looked in the woods, and I guess the Manitou came. And what all that progressed up to was me opening the door to my fear. And the song, the innocent female song of an innocent little kid playing in the woods, rushed into me and was basically saying, don't fight it. Don't fight the struggle. You have 200 miles to hike. Don't fight it. Go back to your nature and just have a good time. Have a good time. Don't fight it. Because if you fight it, you're going to have a bad time. And I'm like, and that's what the download said. The whole download was that right there. The whole day. All added up. And when I let in the innocence, I was playing like a little kid. Looking at the rocks and the fossils and the trees and different plants and snakes and turtles and birds, and just what I love to do, man. That's my joy. That's what I love to do. And I had to break through city world, city mentality, back to my nature, back to who I am, who I always was. But I lost it working in the city for 6 years. And that's why I left the city to come do this, to get back to my nature, which is be free and fucking happy and have a good time. Don't fight it. And that's what it was. That's what it was all about. Don't worry about it. You got everything you need. You went through it all. You got all your stuff you need. Survival gear, everything. Go play. Go play. And that's all it was about. And the girl that came was the Manitou. Now the Manitou could either be innocence or ego. Just like Lucifer. Same thing. Manitou, Lucifer. Same thing. Half human, half beast. You live by the beast. Your ego. You live by your ego and you embrace it and you do rotten things to everybody all the time. You're going to turn out to be the beast. You're going to turn out to be Lucifer. You listen to your innocence. Be happy and play. When you're with God. Innocence. And that's what the innocence came and told me. As soon as I started playing with the squirrels, the next thing I did was look into the forest. Innocence is playing with me. I'm not playing with creatures of the earth. Playing, experiencing. And that's what happened. And I got that done in 19 minutes. Awesome. I thought it would take at least 2 videos, but no. So, that's my experience. And that's why I needed to get out of the city. Because I was turning into a fucking cave, like a nut. A city person. And I knew I wasn't a city person. And I haven't been camping. I haven't been out in the woods for 6 years. And I was losing. I had to get back to it. And that's what happened. So, there you go. And for the next couple days, up to the next event, I don't know how long it was to the next event, but I'm going to make the next video, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, later guys.